Hello guys, welcome everyone. Name is Austerius. Today we're talking about which summoner build, minions, uh, beginner's guide. So what is this build? What is this guide for? It's not ultimate. It's not the best. It's a guide to help you to get through the campaign, through the first three acts easily. I'm gonna be sharing my experience. I'm gonna be sharing some tips here. I'm gonna be showing some gameplay. Gonna be talking about the gear and about the minions overall and other useful stuff. Hopefully useful. So stick around. We're starting right now. So this is how our minions, how our current minion setup look like. We're an arsonist, we're running some mid shield and a hound and two warriors, and they just like going and exploding everything around them, cleaning in seconds all around us. This is the cruel difficulty right now. We just finished all three acts on a normal difficulty, and we're gonna be talking about that in a moment. Gonna be sharing, like I say, my experience, some useful tips, starting with the basics. Some basic commands, right? If you press enter, you can get into the chat, and if you press slash play it, alright, you can see over here how much time you take on the current build, on the current character, been logging in the game and doing your stuff. So we spent around 19 hours with this first three act. We were experimenting quite a bit with some different build setups, and we were cleaning the map almost fully, taking almost all the objectives on the map as well. So that's why it took take a while. Definitely was faster than my warrior experience, faster and more smoother, and in general I like the witch way better than the warrior right now. There's another command which is /death. Alright, gonna show you how many times you died on the character. Again, we were experimented quite a bit in this different setup with some survivability, attack option, defense options. We died 14 times by finishing the first three acts, and we died just quite a bit to second Ascension boss. You need to watch out what kind of modifier you're picking up. If you see the bad modifier, you should probably give up if you don't want to spend that time dying. Also, we died at the very beginning of the game a few times. How? You need to dodge. You need to dodge stuff. The witch at the beginning not so powerful, especially the minions are not so powerful. And we're gonna be talking about how to compensate for that, what to do. What a better start for, like a couple of 5 levels, and what is your transition after first act, second act, and we're gonna be talking passive skills, we're gonna be talking the skills in general, the gems, and supportive gems. Let's start it. With a bit of explanation how the how the minions are working in general, alright? So minions is an entities that consume spirit, right? In order to summon a minion, you need a spirit. So you see, like we have 231 spirit over here, and to summon some minions, right? You can see requirements for the reservation here, all right? A reservation, 31 spirit to summon like skeleton archer, and so on. So the more spirit you have, the better, and the more minions you can summon, basically. That's how you get in like those 6 arsonists over here overall. There's also some free minions and we talk a little bit later how to get them. So the spirit is your main resource for casting to summon the spirits, but you also need a spirit to get some auras going, some passive auras like in Grim Fist, for example, which is very strong defensive mechanism, and I very rarely run with the Grim Fist in a campaign here, but where we're getting like in a tough spots, just popping up the Grim Fist helped me a lot in its survivability. So we're gonna be talking about that too. So you can see the spirit is a resource that is very needed for all of the stuff we're doing, and there's two sources to get it. Well, the gear, one source of the gear, and side quests. So the side quests for the whole campaign giving you a spirit and some side quests, not all of them obviously. Same goes as passive points. So if you're a new player and you don't know what kind of quests give you what kind of reward, is it the passive points or the spirit points or the resistances, and generally recommended to open using if you play on the keyboard and mouse, there is this the world map button which is on you. You can find it like just checking out your options about the world map button you are mapped right now, and you're pressing it. When it open, you can see objectives on the current map and objective in general. So like we're currently in a clear file, and there is like some mysterious campsite here you can find, and Beira the Rotten Pack of the Rotten Pack. So we can find some loot here and some boss that can give you some rewards here. Same go for the green Grailwood, for example. They have some Forgotten Witch here, Bramblegust, the boss, and the Witch Heart, which just contains some loot. So I recommend you to check this map frequently and decide what kind of objective you want. My personal recommendation, just do it all. If you're a new player, it's gonna give you better understanding of the game mechanics because you'll be playing longer, and also probably gonna lead you to some good loot, like some yellow items that you can use. If even you can't use them, you can sell them or transmute them into something more usable. And also useful tips. General useful tips when starting about before just deeping into Witch itself. When you pressing your skill, right, go in here and pressing a skill panel G here on in a keyboard, right? So you can see like all the equipped gems over here, right? And the game itself gonna be explaining how to add the minions, alright? So you can +1 plus you can control how many of which minions you have over here. The game gonna be explaining that. There's arrow near the skill over here, and this arrow gonna lead you to detailed explanation for every minions you have. Right, every summoned minion. So you need to check it out outside of town when you see on the map like this. Outside of town, and the minions should be summoned. Only then you can press the arrow button and go and check out the detailed explanation of the DPS, right? The damage of the unique skills and the damage of the commands and all other stuff over here. So that's one useful things to tell, and another general knowledge skill. If you're, for example, looking for a support gem for some classes here, for some skills, like the Hound, for example, you can see all these 3 skills for every tier, but those are recommended skills by the devs. In order to expand to check out every supporting gem that been supported by the skill, there is a little checkbox over here. If you click on it, you can see all of them, all of the gems that are present in a game that has supported the specific skill. You click on it, you see I'm clicking on different skills here. I can see different supportive gems overall that can go into those sockets. and that's gonna expand a lot of possibilities for you. So I urge you to go and check them and learn what you can do. Experiment with the minions most. We're gonna be talking about each minions. Like in general, I think for campaign every minions is good, except the zombies. Zombies just bad, but everything else is pretty good to start with. And just go check them out, experiment with them a little bit, and gear your build for your own tastes. But I'm gonna explain my own tastes here and some good points, some bad points I found about one or other minions. So here we go. The first five level when you start in your witch, right? You will get the scepter as the first started item. So we were talking about you can get the spirit from skills, but another source of spirit is items. And the first big items you get a lot of spirit from is a scepter. They're gonna give you a rattling scepter, and rattling scepter coming with two skeletal warriors by default. So they are not really doing that much of damage. People are using them for pain offering more often than not. But that's what you get at the very beginning, and it's kind of hard to kill the first boss with Zeus, right? So, and they also gonna give you a wand, like a chaos wand,
Please.
like a one
your
of Zeus
time.
you can find over here, the wizard wand. So it's granted skill the chaos bolt, and a thing is you can dual wield a scepter in one hand and a wand in another. So I was running with the wand for quite a while, through whole first art, because the Chaos Bolt was doing good direct damage to the bosses in the top. You would need to use the Chaos Bolt in the first couple of levels to generally speed up a cleaning speed for you quite a bit, and it's useful for a boss fight. As well as I even use it for my first ascension. We get like quite a bit of damage going there. I'm gonna be inserting this ascension video somewhere in between here, or when I'm gonna be explaining first mages. Anyway, my first advice to use a scepter in one hand and a chaos, the wizard wand in another to do that direct damage.
Bye.
It's a better damage than a nurse, despite a nurse being AoE. Speaking of a nurse, people kinda saying this is a shitty skin, but I have quite a bit of fun with it. I'm still using it right now. It doesn't have that much of DPS, 170, but it's an AoE DPS, and it's bringing back quite a few bone construct with just 16. They're not doing that much damage, these bone constructs. However, they are a lot of bodies. You can create a lot of bodies between you and enemies, and they just overwhelming the map all together. It's a good starting skill, and I urge to. It's a little bit clunky with the casting speed. I noticed a lot of time when I stand too close to the corpse and casting the bone, and the nurse is just not hitting the corpse properly, right? So I recommend, for my part, to get to play it a little bit easier. I recommend to put the magnified effects on it to expand the area of the nurse a little bit, and I also what I did for it, I put a minions instability. So all those small minions, when they die, and they don't have like very much health at the very beginning, so they been killed very quickly, and when you get in from one encounter to another, they die in more often to being killed than to being expired, and so like when they've been killed, they just like exploded for a little bit of fire damage. It's not that much, but it's like nice to have it. It's nice to have it. So you're gonna be playing with a nurse, your wizard wand, your constructs, your skeleton warriors, two of them, for a first like 5-10 levels, and then they're gonna give you a skeleton archers, right? So like, well, not scratch that. They're gonna give you skeleton snipers pretty early in the game. Pretty early in the game. So you can add you can get like 2 or something skeleton snipers. They have a pretty good damage, single target damage, but more importantly about those guys, they gas arrow, right? So they command here gas arrow. How to use the command on, on the minions, right? You're gonna have the minions summoned, right? And then you just right clicking on your panel over here and left click it, and selecting the skill with the command, right? Ice bomb, we have like a death storm, explosive demise, gas arrow. This is a relevant skill to this coming from the minions, and this gas bomb, it's pretty damn good for first part of first act, and actually the whole first act too. Actually, the first act, you don't get like any fire damage to blow it up if you're not playing flame wall, and if you're not playing any fire-based skills altogether. Speaking of which, like another useful piece of advice that I would need to put here. Don't forget that when you're playing for a summoner, when you're playing for a witch, right? It's intelligence-based class, but don't forget that there is like another intelligence-based class there, or intelligence-based gems overall. So like elementalists, for example, you still can pick up the playing for occultists. You still for a witch, you still can pick a bunch of classes spells from elementalist. All right, and the flame wall with it's look pretty useful. Could be there's flammability which we using right now in my setup. So there's a lot of combination been opened by this. Again, you will have this gas arrow with the skeletons archers for quite a while, and I do recommend it to use like, well, at the game also recommended to use poison. Breaking armor, because skeleton archers deal in physical damage. Alright, if you go over here, summon skeleton archers and look at the damage. Alright, so like we removing 1 arsonist and saving this guy. So like using the basic damage, it's saying main hand total damage, so physical damage 500 up to 500 physical damage is one main hand, and when this poison clouds happened, alright, that's dealing damage, not only dealing damage to your enemies, but also reducing them armor and breaking them armor, so your sniper is doing even more physical damage. And surprisingly, not surprisingly enough, Skeletal Warrior also dealing some damage, so they can jump in and punch additional couple of 10 or hundreds points here and there. Right, and They generally, the corrosion is the first gem you're probably gonna be crafting with your first supporting. I really recommended it. So I also use comorbidity. The targets can be affected by 1 poison from support skills, so we have like more than 1 archer, and you will be at the beginning. So they can stack this poison and deal even more damage to enemy bosses. But a lot of people not gonna be sticking with the archers for too long. Like I say, I played with them for quite a bit. I actually preferred first mages and my archers over their their arsonists I'm playing right now later on. So like on a level 3 you will get skeletal arsonist, and this basically right now is one of the best cleaning speed minion in a campaign, at least. So there is a trick to it, how to do it, how to make them good. again, it's about supporting gems. About supporting gem, scatter shot. Scatter shot, they add in like 2 additional projectiles. Yes, they deal in less damage, but the projectiles, the attack from those projectiles are explosions, and those explosions can overlap with each other, and this is actually created way more DPS than tooltip gonna be showing you. I also using Feeding Frenzy, a tier 2 gem, and Fire Infusion on it. 25 damage, like extra fire damage. I heard the Skeleton Arsonist are using actually physical damage first. That 75% of this physical damage transfer to fire damage. So like putting some gem that increases physical damage there could actually lead to more damage increase than the Fire Infusion. But Fire Infusion, you're gonna get it on level 1, and it's easy to get there. And then you grab in some flammability later on, and it's good against the bosses because you can make them vulnerable to fire damage. And Skeleton Arson is doing more damage overall. Next on the table here, after Arsonist and my actually preferable minion for playing a bunch of through the campaign is Skeletal Frost Mages. They have very powerful ability, right? They have the oh my god, where is Ice Bomb? Ice Bomb, very powerful ability in terms it's in Act 1 and Act 2 is basically freezing almost everything. Alright, so you have two freeze mages, just go in freezing, and when you freeze enemies, they're not attacking you, so you have easy time surviving encounters. So they preferably, they may be not as fast as the Arsonist could be, which is arguably right, because people also saying they can they clean a lot fast with quite fast with the Frost Mages. So it's arguably, if the Frost Mages, you just need a better build, you know, just the right build. But in general, for if you're a beginner and you're just like thinking about how to survive better, you don't mean maxing your build much, right? I recommend this Frost Mages at least for a first act, maybe half of the second act, because literally the Frost Bomb freezing everything is 1 to 2 bombs dropped. And I'm using Frost Nexus over here, so create a chilled ground when it freezes an enemy, which is helping again with more crowd control. And I building up the freeze build up faster as well, so that's how we're freezing them, the enemies, like fast. Very good minions. There's a little bit of a video I should be playing right now when I'm fighting the boss in Ascension with those minions. So hopefully it's playing actually. Anyway, next thing about like your minions to talk about that you're gonna get in first 3 acts in a campaign are zombies and skeletal reavers. Skeletal reavers, looking at those damage, like they flat damage without them using an arrange command, they actually have less damage than skeletal warriors. So like, and the melee guys, they stack a lot. I prefer actually using range guys here, so I'm not recommending skeletal reavers for the cleanings or anything. Maybe some boss fights. I did try actually 1 boss fight with skeletal reavers. They were performing just okay-ish. Alright, skeletal reavers in conjunction with skeletal snipers. Snipers reducing enemy armor, breaking armor, and reavers trying to build up the stun for enemy, for the boss. But yeah, like outside the boss room, I didn't felt like using them very often. And then we have like skeletal scorn mages. Also experimented with them. They on pair with like the cleaning speed with arsonists or frost mages. They just attack happening. The attack's not a projectile, so they happen feeling like they happen instantaneously the moment they see the enemy. But Well, they didn't. I didn't stick with those. Like I feel like the shotgun arsonist was better in cleaning the third act that skeletal storm mages, but they're pretty good. You can experiment with them, and this is about all we're gonna talk about the minions you can get from the gems. There's another skill that we're using here and there in Spain offering, but honestly, it's not really needed in campaign. In the first 3 acts of campaign, the pain offering, I'm using here and there, but like my minions just killing everything like so fast that it's just like that 35 extra damage and attack speed. Most often not paying off. Only when you're facing some yellow monsters, or maybe in some rare boss fights, you want to use the pain offering. So just like not to concentrate too much on what you're doing on screen, but to concentrate more on your survivability, I would say. Anyway. That's the minions you can get from a crystal. But there's one big minion you can get from Ascendancy. Alright, in Act 2, you're gonna go to that gene trials, the trials for your honor, and you can get the Infernal Hound. Pretty powerful, pretty strong skill, and it just a big boost to my damage when you get it the first time. The only thing about the hound is guarantee like igniting enemies for you. The only thing is also mean that if you're using skeleton archer's poison, it's gonna be igniting that poison, and you're not gonna be benefiting from a poison armor leech, armor breaking. So be mindful of that. And at this point, like I stopped using archers, I stopped using the poison bombs because we have the Infernal Hound just breaking that poison. You can put like something a Ruthless. Wait, Ruthless. I'm saying. Do I have a gem here? Immolate, but it's a tier 3 gem, and the most likely you're not gonna get tier 3 gems to in the first 3 acts, guarantee, right? But there you can remove like ignition from it if you want, which is gonna remove a lot of damage from from Infernal Hound. However, Infernal Hound also useful because it's like tanking 20% of damage you receive, and this is adding a lot to survivability to you. I'm using here a mid shield on her, so increasing her maximum life. I'm using here Fearly Death. So have chance, enemies that ignited by the skill have chance to explode on death, which is extra damage here and there. And Wildfire ignites inflicted by support skill spread on other enemies. This stays in 1 or 5 meters for 2 seconds. So like the ignite's just spreading all around. That's what we're using on the Hound, and you're gonna get extra a free notch for the Hound also. With your levels when you're leveling up. So that's really like also a little bit overview of the minions you can use in the build. Like I say, a lot of them pretty good except the zombies, and it's just on you to explore, to decide what's better for you. Is that you want to play more defensively, then choose by all means Frost Mages with a multiple freeze, or go and erase the stuff more with Purifying Fire and more faster with Arsonist, alright? Or with the Storm Mages. That's like all the majority of minions you will get in the first 3 acts again. So yeah, like about the Infernal Hound, just like I'm gonna be showing it right now, right? 20 damage of the hits taken from your Hellhound's life before you. That's Ascendancy of Infernalist. That's where you get the Hound. Now we're gonna be talking about survivability in general for a build. After that, we're gonna be talking about items, survivability, and well, passive trees overall, right? So like when you start in the build, you have 2 choices to make. Is I go to a little bit more damage for you and your minions, Like go for more energy shield and some survivability over here. Honestly, I went for damage. I did regret that because it's better on at the beginning to have this 20 extra shield and feel yourself more comfortable with surviving. So I came back after like a couple of levels. Alright, level 20 and pick up the shield because I was like growing too, you know, getting too dangerous to get killed here and there. So we increased my shield overall. And you see, I'm not running in this build. I do have the, like I mentioned, the Grim Fist. It's pretty good aura, but it's taking 60 spirits, which is like amount for 1 minions I can summon, more or less. So that's why I'm not using it most often, but it's like an extra survivability layer if you want to, for your fights to take a little bit longer than they are. So anyway, I do recommend you to get this 20 extra shield at the beginning, and then you can grab some minion damage here and there. Right, minion damage, increase attack speed, cast speed, and all the time. So like I put quite a bit of points into intelligence first, but then you realize that I need dexterity for some supporting gems and strength for actually holding my scepter, and I change them. You can easily change those things by interacting with a hooded one, right? So like if you realize you're missing, like have enough intelligence not, but you're missing some actually dexterity, like need 5 or 10 dexterity, so you can go to your carry one, right, to talk with the hooded one. We should get in at the end of well, not in the middle of the first act, right? So the guy can be useful to identified items. Right, so clicking on him, you can identify 2 items. He also can refund your passive points.
I must keep calculating.
So if you click, if you already select this one, between the middle of some tree here, right, and you don't need to go to refund all these points in order to change 1 intelligence point for dexterity. Just click on this dexterity and you can change them. Intelligence, you can change it to dexterity. Refund, you can change it for a strength as well, as easily as that. So it's a little bit of tip about that. Anyway, we continue with the passive 3 here. So the first thing, you want to get this extra shield and then go into to pick up all this extra damage for your minions, for your archers. And then in my case, I just move to this side, to the right side. You can choose to go to the left side. There's also some minions 3 over here, right? The another tip about like passive 3, it's when you figure out what you want, right? When you figure out keywords, you just can type the keywords here in a search, and then they're gonna be highlighted. Every node here that have the minions can work there. That some damage, some health, alright. So we can understand a little bit better where you want to go from the very beginning, and what kind of news they are there to support your minions. So I went to the right. I grabbed some extra health for my boys. Right, faster revival. It's useful at the beginning, right? So if you get all this like extra revival here, you will get your minions to revive somewhere around 50. Somewhere around 1 second faster than they were reviving before, and it's good enough at the beginning. I would say so. So after like I take some damage here and like more minion damage over here, I went like straight and get my minions some chaos resistance and some life, right? And then I was like investing a little bit more in my survivability. So like I came back over here, get some extra shield for your survivability. So extra shield is happening after Act 1, right? So like Act 1 we're using dual wielding scepter and the wand. After Act 1 I switched to extra shield from my focus, But honestly, I also recommended to use shield. Shield giving you a less energy shields, right? There are specific mage shields that you can buy
Speak out.
here and there. Run,
I will
run
tell
guy.
you.
Browse as long as you like.
A run guy here and there, so like there goes, they give you a little bit armor, a little bit energy shield, but it's also given 25% chance to block in, and it's huge. Being able to block 25% of the time, it's huge. Take it, right? That's another free survivability, so you can get there. Back to the passive tree. So for another extra survivability, you can go to the Mind Over Matter. So all the damage taken before mana, before your health, but it's recover mana slower, which is pretty okay. Because you only use a nurse here and there, and well, okay, using if you play in the Frost Mages or playing with Gas Bomb, those things are using some mana, so it's not that much in campaign, and Flammability also using quite a bit of mana. So I guess like you would need use the flask here and there often. I have like some gain charge per second on my flask, so it's helping replenishing some charges fast, right? And ultimately, when you finish your Act 3, you will be able to get a Lord of Horrors. It's giving you extra reduction reservation for your minions, so you can summon sometimes one extra minion, because now they are reserving less mana, less spirit, as I should say, and that's mean you can summon more with the current spirit you have. So that's basically the passive tree. It's not absolutely optimized yet, right? Depending on the kind of build you're playing, what kind of minions you're playing, it could be like a little bit different. But it's a general, a good amount of survivability, good amount of damage, and a good amount of minions that are provided just by working around passive trees. Well, okay, minions, it's just only this Lord of Horrors that giving you like some chance in the minions. But we're gonna be talking about how to get more minions, what you want to do to get more minions. There's, like I said, that generally you're using the spirit to summon the minions, and the best stuff to do it is the Rattling Scepter, right? So giving you some spirit, 100 spirit. If you increase the quality of the scepter to 20 quality, we got it corrupted, so it's getting me extra quality. So every point of quality giving you extra spirit when you have spirit 100. So the scepter, the very important part of the scepter you want to find is this over here skill plus something, right? Plus 1, plus 2, plus 4 level to all minion skills. Minions are scaling with levels pretty good, right? And they also, it's not only scaling the damage, it's scaling the health, it's scaling the accuracy. In fact, I'm through the whole third act, my minions accuracy in a tooltip was equal like 100% accuracy, so they were hitting everything unless they're gonna get blinded, guarantee. So you absolutely want to go and grab the scepter with plus something to the minion skills. Plus 2 minion skills can roll on the helmet, right? So you look for the helmet with plus 2 minion skills. It can roll also on I think it's helmet and something else. Was it? Which we don't possess here. But another thing you want from your scepter is a spirit, amount of spirit. So it can roll with some additional percentage to spirit, right? The breastplate can roll with the spirit. But here I have 38 spirit added, right? And there's amulet, which is very hard to find early on, which also can roll with the spirit, right? This is giving all plus 10 spirit. So that's your source of a spirit, and spirit meaning more minions meaning better cleaning speed and easy life for your easy survivability. For charm, I basically using the one that giving me stun resistance here. Right, so another thing about the gear, another tip about gear I'm gonna saying that is watch out for your resistances, right? Watch out your lightning resistance, fire resistance, depending on kind of boss you're fighting. Like you're going to fight the first act and boss, right? The wolf. So you want a cold resistance. I just want. I know at the very beginning, if your first character, it's kind of hard to find it. So look for any any white ring with a cold resistance. It can be sold randomly by the vendors, right? Actually, check vendors very often, right? This is where I get like this +3 to all minion skills. I didn't found it. I bought it from a vendor. So check the vendors. Okay, we have air alarm here. Need to speed it up a little bit. Check the vendors often. And when you have some yellow items, instead of selling it, unless you need the money, I recommend it to disenchant it as well. But you would like to sell it at the beginning to make this money to buy the item actually. There's different
Browse
vendors.
as long as you like.
They sell in a different stuff, and there's a lot of items you can find that is just yellow, and you can basically use it from the get-go.
Sans guide you.
So that's resistances, right? Like you fight in wolf, you want cold resistance. You fight in the second act boss, the end boss, you want light and resistance. So generally, if you have 40 resistance, cold resistance for wolves, or 40 light and resistance for a second act boss, and you follow in the mechanic, the game mechanic, and dodging big hit, you should be fine. You should be fine without running out of a flask charges or anything. And the third boss doesn't really matter because you're gonna be at that time you're gonna be experienced enough to kill them with your minions without taking any significant amount of time or damage in the process. So there's a couple of other useful tips I'm gonna add here about the gear. So if you see some quality, right, some gear with quality over here, like the scepter, right, running, or some gear with the notches, like this helmet or the breastplate. You do want to keep them. You don't want to sell them. You're gonna keep it until you get a workbench, a salvage bench, right? And salvage bench, using this, you want to salvage all of those. They're given a very important currency. They're given your Arcanist etchers. They're giving your whetstone. They're giving your blacksmith whetstone, and they're giving your well, the scraps and artificial orbs. That's what they're giving you. And those are used for increasing your armor, making some notches in the armor so you can put runes. Runes is another way to increase your resistance, cold resistance, for example, if you're going into that last boss for the first act. Also, there's a very easy way to craft the basic items, right? So, for example, you have some wand over here with one it's a white wand you found, right? White scepter or white wand. So you found you bought or found the scepter with +1 to level all minions, right? But it's only have one modifier, right? You can easily add another one by using augmentation orbs, and there's so many of these augmentation orbs running around. So if you find a white item, you just can make it magical. Add another like one from white to blue. You need orb of transmutation. From blue to another stack, you can use this orb to get extra stat here. And then in order to make it like add another stat, you can use the regal orb. They don't drop in that often, but by disenchanting yellow items, you're gonna get this regal shards over here, and 10 shards combined in one Regal Orb, and you'll have a lot of the yellow items sold at the end of the Act 3, so you have a decent bunch of Regal Orbs. So you can click on this and add another extra Seer modifier pretty easily, as long as you're trying to fish for this. That's like one way to fish for this, plus to level on all minions, right? Using the currency instead of just checking for random vendors or random loot. Alright guys, like we have Aero Lamp here. That's guide been a little bit longer than I was expecting, plus some videos are gonna be inserted of the boss fight here and there. So thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for sticking around. Hopefully it was useful and you get like some useful information here, and hopefully your journey through campaign will be easier with this information you get here. Take care of yourself, stay safe whatever you're doing, have fun with it. Until next time, cheers.